In a world like none other, there comes one man in search of plastic, in search of cons. He is known as Plasticon. Join him as he brings toys from another dimension to a household near you.
Hey guys, welcome to a Plasticon thingy. I'm primarily going to be going over some stuff that we've been seeing on the internet for quite some time. Primarily Hot Wheels stuff, because I happen to love Hot Wheels, and Hot Wheels is one of those things that I think a lot of people out there have enjoyed collecting throughout the years. And the fact that Hot Wheels is owned by Mattel and Transformers is owned by Hasbro, I find this to be a very, very strange mix of both brands. I'm not mad at it. I actually love it. The big thing I'm trying to figure out here is where these things kind of fall into a price point type of thing. Considering looking at Optimus Prime here, he actually looks very, very, very cool, considering he's about $8. I don't find that actually as a bad thing, but when it comes to retooling, Hot Wheels is notorious for retooling their cars. I mean, I have a car right here that's probably been retooled 15 billion different times. This is just all done in the crazy chrome. And it's just one of those things that Hot Wheels has been able to do throughout the years. When it comes to a lot of this stuff, I primarily really enjoy this kind of thing, especially when the price point is cheap. The cheap price on these guys, like I said, this thing, $8, perfect, absolutely perfect. It being Optimus Prime, that's pretty cool. I actually like that. The wheels kind of look strange to me, though. I really wish the wheels were consistently silver all the way through, but that isn't too hard to do with a customizer. It'd be really easily to, like a really, really easy accomplishment here. And the fact that it actually looks like it does have an opening rear end portion of the trailer that just drops down, very nice. Don't mind that. I kind of also wonder how the kickstands work on the sides. I wonder if it actually folds out like Optimus does, or if they're just stagnant. When it comes to Hot Wheels, these are primarily, like I said, they're designed for pretty much the collector that wants to hang it on the wall, or want to just kind of snag something cool that they can give their kid, or even if they just want something like this as a desk toy. It's perfect. I actually love this. This is exactly what I want to see when it comes to Hot Wheels and Transformers collaborating. This is something I really think is a lot more affordable. I find this actually to be perfect. Although I kind of wished it went more the Spy Changer side, so things actually transformed. It'd be kind of cool, but the fact that they haven't done that, I'm not even mad at. I think it's really interesting how they have designed this particular toy to turn out like it is. And considering they're doing a Bumblebee as well, which is nice. I think it's great. It looks like they just took like the old Beetle mode that they've actually had for many, many years and just made it more Bumblebee by making it yellow. It'd be kind of cool to see a pink interior on it, but I don't see that happening, considering it probably requires a lot more retooling to make things work better for that. And I do like the fact it does have the Autobot emblem slapped right on the hood, exactly where it is on Bumblebee in the cartoon. And for those that are out there trying to find these toys and they're like, oh, well, it's not 100% accurate, it's not a penny racer. Well, it's a Hot Wheel, and the fact that it even says Hot Wheels on the back end is very nice. These are probably going to be a little more expensive than your standard Hot Wheels. I can see this maybe being closer to probably a $5 mark. But with Optimus being about 8, I can see maybe Bumblebee being around between 3.5, maybe $4. very affordable, perfect aesthetic. And it's one of those things that I've really been looking forward to seeing happen, and it's finally happening. I'm very excited about this. These are ones I would, honestly, to me, I would probably buy a couple of. My thing is, when I get this, I probably, since I'm the big G2 guy, I more than likely will end up getting the Optimus Prime and repainting the trailer black and probably redo the sticker on it. But it's perfect. As far as I'm concerned, for you G1 people out there that really enjoy that stuff, cool. G2, hey, there's a lot of potential here with this one. With the Bumblebee, not so much, because that mold has been used many times with Hot Wheels. So I'm pretty sure you guys out there have probably seen a gold version of this, which would be really easy to find, and then just slap a Autobot emblem on it, and then there you go. That's really what I would do there if I was going to be one of those guys that wanted to have a Bumblebee that's a Hot Wheel that sits on my shelf. Now, on another note, I do know about another Hot Wheels Optimus Prime that has been basically shown off in the community quite a bit now. Let me see if I can find a decent thing here. Let's go to Mattel and just check out what they have. But we have an Optimus Prime here that actually transforms, and it's Hot Wheels size. That's awesome. It's a little bigger than probably your world's smallest, which I've actually had before in my hands before. Very interesting. The fact is, the price point on this thing is expensive. I know it's primarily die cast. There's a lot of engineering behind this, and I understand when it comes to the cost to reuse ratio, probably not the greatest. And the fact that it has two different ways it could be displayed in the box is kind of interesting, but this thing is like $80. I think that's a bit steep, considering it doesn't come with a plastic trailer. Like, how hard is it to have an opening trailer? It doesn't even have to have the raise up gimmick for the repair arm. It could just be standardized. But this thing being just a $80 toy, I hope the tires are rubber. If they're not, then that's kind of a ding against it too. I'm not absolutely sure on that. Just being skeptical here, but an $80 price point, that's a bit steep, I personally think, on the cost that it's going to cost for this. And they probably aren't going to make very many of them, considering this is supposed to be a mass-produced product, but I don't see this being an insanely mass-produced one unless they decide to go down the line and start doing more like this. When it comes to the news, I don't really tend to hover around a lot of the stuff, but this kind of caught my eye. I do like this Optimus Prime, don't get me wrong. I do really enjoy the fact that we're going to have a small Hot Wheels scale one that actually transforms, but the price is a little much. I personally think, going for the Optimus that is more affordable, doesn't transform, this is perfect to me. Considering you guys out there that really want transforming robots, you're primarily not going to go for these really tiny ones unless you're a Spy Changers collector. Much like myself, I absolutely love the Spy Changers. I went through and have created a lot of my own custom stuff to fit in with that, where I've used old Zybots, old GoBots, stuff like that to try to really fill in the ranks that are missing, because I like the smaller scaled stuff, mainly because it's easier to store, it's easier to display, it doesn't take up your entire home, because I myself, I have a lot of different things I'm into. I don't want to have just Transformers everywhere, because it's just hard to display all that stuff at one time. But as for these, I find these very interesting. I'm into this. This is not a bad item. It's not a bad thing at all. I honestly think this is probably one of the coolest things that's come out in the upcoming years. What I'd love to see them do is take the Matchbox stuff, because believe it or not, Matchbox and Hot Wheels are the same thing. They are literally the same company. They're both owned by Mattel. Yeah, there's a little different engineering in some of them, but not a whole lot. But I would love to see the Matchbox side get a hold of the Jets and make us some Seekers. That would be cool. I also would love to see them do this, and it's probably a really, really, really huge long shot considering we have the G.I. Joe crossover stuff that's going to be going on. I would love to see them take like the Matchbox aircraft carrier they used in the recent Top Gun toys and turn that into like the USS Flag. That'd be really interesting to see that. Considering we're seeing a bit of a crossover here with Transformers, I wouldn't mind seeing some G.I. Joe stuff, because we've seen G.I. Joe die-cast toys in the past. They're very cool. I would love to see a crossover of all this, because to me, when it comes to Transformers and G.I. Joe always went hand in hand in my eyes, especially when I was a kid. I always played with them, crossed over, even with the comic books. And being a huge G2 fan, I actually find this very interesting, and I'm into this. This is actually something I'm not against. And I know you guys have not really seen very many modern G2 Transformer reviews from me. It's mainly because I don't really collect those. I like them, but I don't actually have the space for them. That's the reason why I downscaled a lot of my stuff, so that way I can actually have a collection room that is pretty much perfect in my eyes, because it's small enough for me to have everything I want in there and not an overabundance of stuff that I don't. So I will end up doing a bit of a collection tour room here pretty soon in the future. But anyhow, you guys stay tuned. I plan on doing a few more of these little just popping in, talking about what's kind of cool that's coming out. This has really caught my eye. This is exactly what I've been wanting. I've been wanting non-transforming Hot Wheel Transformers. I've been wanting these for a long time. I know there was the RPG line that came out, or RPM line that came out, and those were okay. I just didn't like the fact that they stamped like the robot mode on the bottom of them. They could have, to me, just leave it as a vehicle. It's fine. It didn't need all that. And as you know, there was a racetrack set that was like Devastator. I didn't think that was the greatest either. But when it came to the Spy Changers, loved that. I would love to see them maybe reapproach the simplicity of a transforming toy and make it work, but not with the $80 price point that they're going for with this other one, because to me this $80 price point is a little too much for just the cab of a truck when there should be a trailer. I don't expect a roller that does much, but if you're going to do this, do it the right way. Don't just give us a cab. I understand engineering is one thing, but considering they pretty much have downscaled the original transformation into this, there's no reason they couldn't have done a trailer as well, because the tooling for trailers are out there. I do know that the reissue of just the cab of Optimus Prime from the G1 stuff was actually took from the Diaclone. I understand why, because the tooling for the original toy was getting so worn out they couldn't do that. There's no reason they can't go drag out the G2 molds and redo the trailer again, because that's what they did in the past. But anyhow, this has been Plasticon. This has been a kind of a retrospective of some of the things that are coming out, and I will catch you guys later. I have plenty more coming to your guys' way.